AC Infinity has got a quality name when it comes to products for your garden. Whether it's an inline fan or the Controller Pro 69, they've got you covered. They've got a controller that's going to communicate between all of their devices. From the humidifier to the clip-on fans, regulate everything accurately with the Controller Pro 69. If you go to acinfinity.com, use promo code PIGEONS420, you can get some quality equipment for a quality price. Get the equipment that your plants are going to need and grow some incredible dank. Thank you, AC Infinity, for sponsoring today's live stream.
What's up? Oh. What's up? I'll tell you what's up. Spider Farmer's Supplemental Light Series now at spider-farmer.com. Go check them out, including the Glow R40. Get yourself some supplemental lights, whether it's UVA, UVB. Go check them out. You might not be getting all the spectrum that you need for your plants, but now you can with the Sup series. Go to spider-farmer.com, use promo code PIGEONS420. You'll save a few dollars off at checkout. You'll get some supplemental lighting, and you will be growing some incredible herb. Use promo code PIGEONS420. spider-farmer.com. Set yourself up right and you won't be disappointed.
Hey, my man, making Mrs. P just bing, 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 bing. Working it, bing, bing, bing. Can you hear me okay over there?
Yep, I got you. Got you loud and clear. How about me?
That's fantastic. Me? I got you loud and clear, buddy. How you been? How you doing tonight?
Excellent, man. We did our monthly grocery shopping today, and I took a walk on the beach.
Nice. Oh,
hard to beat that.
Good for you, man. Yeah, good for you. You're right on the beach, or close to?
Yep, a half mile from the waves. So every day we do our little 2-mile loop and walk on the beach, walk by the lighthouse. We enjoy ourselves.
Bro, you have to, man. With that kind of view? Oh, good for you. I'm glad you take the time to soak something like that in. Good for you. Mr. Chad Westport in the house with me here tonight. Guys, welcome to Chad. For the one person in the chat who doesn't know who you are, Chad, the man of many projects, who are you and what do you do?
Thanks for having me, but Chad Westport, I like to educate people about growing the sea stuff at home because I feel it's a pretty darn important plant, and I love to see people make their own medicine, clean medicine, and I help do that through articles, I help do that through videos, answer questions. I love it. Watch shows like this, support the community. That's another huge part of it.
You're absolutely right.
Support, man. Good community.
You're absolutely right, man. Chad, I see you not only in this chat, I've seen you in the Gauntlet chat, I see you in the AC Infinity chat, I see you in Astro's chat, I see you everywhere, man, everywhere. And like hats off to you, man, because that is a lot of work. There are a lot of projects going on right now and people doing some crazy things, and you're there. You've been on a ton of podcasts lately too.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, there's so many different things that you can talk about. Just growing, breeding, philosophy in general, genetics, a lot of different ways to go with that. Organic growing too. There's one thing I love about this plant and, music, which I've always been involved with. There's always something new to learn. And once you think you know it all, that's when you're, wrong, because there's always something new to learn. My teacher, audio engineering teacher, he said you need to learn the rules before you can break the rules. And that applies to him.
He was so right. You're so right.
And sometimes you just got to know how to stress the plant or, sit on the reel so it gets that whoa, 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 whoa sound. And you're like, wait a minute, did I just invent flange? That's how it happens.
Man, you're 100% right. Rob and I used to have a Grand Theft Auto 5 role-playing server. And one of the things that I would always say to new people was, you can get so much information from the rules. Like if you read them and you understand them, it's amazing how many kind of cheat codes are in there that you can use to your advantage. So you're right. As soon as you know the rules, you can break the rules. So that's really cool. And you can totally apply that to weed too, man. Because once you know that you can like snap that top off, half off, and it can be just hanging there, dwindling to the, you can still tape it on, and it's going to be fine. I'm sure you've had that happen now.
Just the other day, quite literally, just doing a little bending on the clones, and it was very hydrated, so it was a little crisp. And instead of squishing, it went snap. I'm like, at least a quarter of it's still hanging on. It'll grow back.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I remember I was on your show. Was it last year? I think it was last year, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And man, we had the conversation about was it the just one thing?
Yeah, because you've been a guest a couple of times, but I do remember just one thing specifically. Yeah, we sat down and talked about just that one thing all new growers should know.
Yes. Okay. My memory is kind of, I'm pretty sure we met for that one just thing separate, right? It was just like 10, 15 minutes or whatever, and then that was it. And then we met, and then we did an interview separately. Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, definitely. And if I remember correctly, too, it was mindset, and I almost want to say specifically like positivity. But I believe that we talked a lot about mindset. Was your just one thing?
Yep. That's 100% it, man. Because I was going to say, if I had to pick just one thing now, it would 100% still be the same thing. Mindset, staying positive, understand that you're going to go through a little bit of struggle, but you got to come through the other side. That would still be my just one thing. Yeah. What's your just one thing? I don't think I ever asked you. I'm sure you said it.
That's a really good one. I would really agree with you as mindset and patience, because sometimes people want to reach the finish line before the plant is even ready to get there. And sometimes people don't nail it on their first run or their second run. But each time, if you can take away a little bit of victories from that, that's good, because that's forward progress. There's that cheesy saying that I love to say because I truly believe it. It's like, if you learn, you don't really lose. So there's a lot of positive mindset that you need. And again, realize that this plant grows slow. So don't expect overnight results.
Yeah, you're 100%
Sorry,
right.
that was kind of a long ramble there. That was a long ramble.
That's fair. No, that's fair. You know what? You can apply the exact same thing to life, right? Where it's like, it's all about the long run. It's all about where you're going, not necessarily. Well, it's not necessarily where you're going. It's about where you're at too, right? And understanding that each moment has things to learn from and to gather and to enjoy and experience. What do you do for like free time, like downtime, patience, like Zen?
And a lot of my Zen time is really just gardening. Just looking at the plants, observing the plants, trying to take care of them. And that extends to things outside of the house as well. I've got veggies, I've got trees, just watching that kind of life bloom. Sometimes, you can train trees in certain ways. I'm playing with just a little pine outside. It's a small seedling. It's fun to form things, something that maybe 10 years down the road will actually be something. So I love my plants. I love my gardening, but I do a lot of beach time. I live right near the beach, so I try to get out and walk every day. I wish I could say I had like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, but this is really go to sleep thinking about it, wake up thinking about it, usually stay busy. So I've learned to make my time in life, because we do need those little breaks. I'll work for a couple, 3 hours, then I'm going to go for a walk, clear my head with some nature. So yeah, nature is probably the best answer there. That's what I like to do with my free time in all different forms.
Yeah. You're totally a free-spirited dude, man, and that's where I think you and I connect a lot. I totally agree with you, bro. Nature is number one. I feel like we often get, I'm not gonna say we, I feel like I often get disconnected from just the fundamentals, the basics, just life. wilderness, hearing the birds chirp, just smelling the roses, feeling like smelling a fresh cut lawn and just putting a little gravel in my travel. It's just like, oh, sometimes I don't soak that up enough. And that's also my place of zen. I just like to get outside, let the nature take its course, because we are surrounded by so much technology and information and nonsense, and I don't feel like 90% of it really matters. Yet here we are focused on that 90%, right? So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said nature. And of course you would, being so close to the ocean.
That's only something that came with age, though. Like, I'm a straight up like city kid, and for the longest time, I lived in downtown Seattle. I lived in San Francisco, Chicago, Detroit. Like, straight up city kid. Didn't appreciate it until, later in life, slower pace. Kind of like you said, I'm realizing what's kind of a little bit more important to me. But it's funny. How sometimes, like I said, it's 24/7. You're talking about the walk out in nature, and you're smelling the pine trees. I'm like, I'm smelling some of the forest floor. I'm all myrcene, like it
Yeah.
never stops. I'm like in the terpene game out there.
Yeah, yeah. I was listening to a World War II veteran speak just the other day, and he spoke of a way about just loving his country and kissing the ground when he got home after serving overseas, and it just made me realize, like, and this was just the other day, it just made me realize that we have so much and we take it, I just want to say because I know not everybody does this, but it's like I take it all for granted sometimes. And I just don't appreciate the ground that I walk on. And you don't need, I don't need all these things and all these, and yet here we are surrounded by all these things, right? I'll admit I'm kind of materialistic. Do you have like a materialistic being?
I'm trying to cut that out, but also at the same time, I will buy the nice version instead of the bad version twice now.
That's fair. Yep, that's fair. That's fair. At least you know what you're getting, right?
Yeah, for the most part, because consumerism, gosh, it's. But my background is kind of weird. Like I grew up like the three things basically I've done in life in order is like skateboarding, music, and cannabis. Now all three of them have been there the entire time, but my life has been focused on one or the other throughout the course. And for like from my teens all the way through my 30s, I never had to like pay for like clothes or get like things because I was always I'm a freaking human billboard. So that's why pretty much most of the shirts I wear are just blank shirts because I'm like so over that. But as far as like consumerism, I kind of threw that like grew to resent it because after time I figured out I'm just a kind of a billboard for a lot of these companies.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
You,
sorry. I
yeah.
got started on that rant and I won't fully go down that road, but yeah, I try to cut the consumerism to a minimal.
Good. Good. Yeah, I'm trying to do
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the exact same thing. I do struggle with it. I am attached to like some of the worst brands too. Like it's horrible. Like I like Nike, and their exploitation of women and children overseas is well documented. I like I shouldn't say love, but I like Apple, and Apple has its own friggin' issues, and it's just like
Yeah.
So, Chad Westport,
With you.
you're going to come up with a line of clothes and a phone soon, right?
Yes. I'm coming out with a line of clothes, 100% cotton, and it's going to be dumb phones. It's going to be flip phones. I'm going to bring you guys back. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to be able
Flip
to look
phones,
up at the
bro.
clouds, at the skies in the
I'm
sky.
in. I'm in for flip phones, G.
Yeah.
I'm in for flip phones, bro. I literally told myself I'm actually going to be shopping. Like if it made sense to buy another phone, which it totally doesn't, I 100% next phone going to flip phone. and not a smart flip phone, but just a regular flip phone. I don't want Instagram on my phone. I don't want Twitter on my phone. I don't want nothing. I want to flip it open and maybe play Snake. But other than that, nothing. Could you handle that?
Played a little Snakes game when you're bored on the phone. I've seriously thought of that, but I am the type of person who needs directions sometimes. So that's the one reason why I haven't gone back to it, is the ability to like MapQuest or like Google nearest thing. That's it.
But I feel like even then it's like I got Google in the car, or Maps, Google, whatever it is. I got Maps in the car. I got the computer for most things. I realized real quick too, like I also wear this smartwatch. Never gonna own a smartwatch again. Never. Because it's too much information. It's too much information on my wrist. I don't want phone calls on there. I don't want text messages on there. You know, it's like maybe every now and again, but I don't get those. I get weather updates, I get alerts, I get all these other things, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to run away from those things. And I will never own a smartwatch again. I will 100% have a analog? Is that what it's called? Analog? I'm gonna have an analog watch. What do you have? What kind of watch do you have on, Mr. Chad Westport?
I don't even wear a watch.
Oh,
Heck yeah. So I tried that back in the day.
It's consistent.
I got like a really fancy watch. Yeah, and I thought I was like fly and stuff, and I was cool. And then I went out skateboarding, and I fell once, and it like smashed the entire face. I'm like, that's why I don't wear watches. Okay. So yeah, no watch.
Yep, smart, bro. Okay. I break everything I have too. Okay, so I get that. That's part of the reason that I'm a hardworking man though, and I can break my toys. That's the first thing. As Mrs. P's over there, like, you do break everything. I definitely want to change it up for a flip phone. But you're a skateboarder, bro, and that's another thing that we can relate on. Because you don't know me, I'm going to continue and tell you, bro, I'm an amazing skateboarder, bro. And I skateboarded a ton as a kid, and it was a ton of fun. I made a lot of friends through skateboarding. Skateboarding is awesome, bro. You still skateboard?
Yeah. I've got a couple sitting right next to me. I've been waiting for the town where I moved to build a skate park, and it should be breaking ground soon. It's like 8 years in the making. So I'm going to be a very happy dude. I can surf here, which is great, but I moved away from the mountains where I snowboarded all the time to be here. I'd rather snowboard than surf, but give me a skate park, I'll be a happy man.
Oh. See, as a legendary skateboarder myself, I can't pull up a skateboard just right beside me. What do you know? It's all crumbling right here. No, I was a horrible skateboarder, bro. I love skateboarding, and that's what I love about skateboarding is if you just love skateboarding, you don't have to be good. It's just the freedom of just putting foot to board and foot to concrete. That's what it's really all about, and getting outside and all that stuff. I sucked. I was really good at having like the really cool shoes and like a really nice board, and I like when I held it, man, I look like a boss, bro. I look like a boss. I was a poser by definition.
Did you spin it? Did you spin it while you stood there? Just like do that little
in the palm? Yeah. No, I wasn't that bad. But no, I enjoyed skateboarding. My buddy, rest in peace, my buddy Corey. He used to ollie over like picnic tables, and he would always get all the girls. And you know, I was right beside him though, because I was good looking and I could run fast. I was a fast runner. That's what I had. I'm glad to hear you're still skateboarding, man. I'm glad to hear you're still skateboarding because A, getting outside is awesome for activity, staying healthy, staying active, and hearing that you're active is consistent with your looks. You look fantastic. So good for you. You have so many projects on the go right now. So I had to get an inside scoop of what Chad does on the side to keep the hustle going. You got a ton of project going. You started up a website, I believe, last month? This month?
Yeah. I did, man, and that was a big monkey off my back because I've had the domain for 3 years before I actually got something done because I went with one way and it was much harder than I went with what I knew this time. So I got it done in a month. It is now up, chadwestport.com.
Let's
to have that done.
go.
So, yeah,
And go ahead. What is it?
that was a big one.
Like, what is it?
That was a big one. So yeah, so basically, it's there's only 3 tabs on there. So you get there, it kind of shows the work tab. You can find the Twin Peaks, kind of the strain catalog. You can find the different companies I've written for: IOGL, ILGM,
Yep.
Sensi Seeds, Growth Magazine, Pot for Pot. Let's see, what else do I got there? Oh, links to videos, got discount codes, ask me a question, and a link to the dope history theory. That's all there. And if you hop over to the info tab, that's really where you find the active links. So if you want to read some articles that I wrote for any one of those companies, just go to the info tab, click their link, and boom, takes you to my author page. And then of course there's a store too. That's where you find some good stuff. And I'm kind of working hard on like curating some memorabilia. Like I'm able to find some like I found some outdoor grow calendars from 1979 the other day, and
What?
just like random weird collectibles that you're not finding elsewhere. So yeah, I'm trying to throw some of that stuff up there for anybody who likes that stuff. Old bean catalogs too. I'm a collector, and I know there's other collectors out there, so I'm just tossing stuff up, figuring somebody else might like it too.
Man, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, bro. Okay. I'm kind of intrigued here in regards to the old school memorabilia. Where did you find that?
This was on a publisher website that is like a clearinghouse. It was their dead stock. It somehow is probably sitting in a storage facility for years. I ordered as many as I could. There were only 2 left. I had gone there to actually order a book from this artist, Chris Dyer. He's an amazing artist. But I always like to look around. So, I typed that keyword into their search bar and they came up with a couple things. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I'll take as many as I can get. I'd love to share those. And I'm actually older than that calendar. So I know there's somebody else, like, if I had a proper, like, grow calendar for the year I was born, I would buy it.
That's too funny. You are 100% right. Yes. If I had one for my year, yes. Man, that's too cool, bro. To be able to find that kind of stuff and then to be able to share it, man. That's wicked. Good for you. Good for you, man. Having that outlet for a website, I get it. A huge shout out to Rob, because I honestly don't do anything on my website. He's a website wizard, and he won't tell you it, but he actually practices website jujitsu on the side. He's like a Harry Potter creature. Yeah, and having that outlet, having a place where people can go, having we are very expendable, I feel like, in this kind of space when we're making content. So making content can't be where you put all your all your eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely diversification is key. And like I've, been lucky enough to link up with some of these writing jobs that really kind of keep everything afloat. And a lot of people had always asked about, where do you get genetics or my genetics? And I would have to refer them to a bank. And bank standard practice is 50% is theirs regardless. And I do things at like $2 a bean. So that divide that in half. I was happy to get my website up so I can continue to do it at that pace.
That's very
which
smart.
is another big deal.
And so these are your genetics?
Yep. Yeah, like I'm not doing anybody else's stuff on there. I just want it to be an outlet for my stuff.
Of course.
It's usually small run, but yeah, just I want to get more people growing and making, the knowledge out there, making good genetics accessible to people. That's really important because there's a lot of very expensive exotic genetics out there, but that stuff's above my pay grade. And if somebody is just getting started with something that is really going to knock their socks off or really hit the effects that they need, hit the ground running basically, I'd love to support that because that person's going to keep doing it and doing it, and they're going to encourage the next person, and that's ultimately how we win.
Good for you, 100%. Your pricing makes perfect sense. We've had the discussion about pricing many times, and the price of beans/genetics. I like to use the word genetics now. I've kind of like realized that seems to be an algorithmic approved word. So feel free to run with that one, bro.
Okay.
I like to.
I will.
I like to. I like to think that genetics are way too overpriced. I guess, okay, for the sake of this conversation, the term genetics does not work, actually. As I start to say it, it doesn't work. But the beans are overpriced. They're simply overpriced. The idea that over $10, it is becoming a standard of practice is very frustrating, because as you said, less people are going to be growing because the price. Why simply you can't get into you can't get into gardening at these prices because genetics are becoming the most expensive part of the garden. And maybe it should be, but not at beans at $30 a bean plus.
It's ridiculous. It's also what people are willing to pay sometimes, unfortunately. It's there's all sorts of stages of the green rush, and I'm just gonna call them corn kernels. We'll just say kernels for now. But
Yep.
kernels, they're really catching on again with the culture of what we do. The social media that we do, having something to like put forward is kind of like a status symbol. And so there's a lot of people aspiring to certain levels, and you can get there sometimes not even necessarily being a good grower, but if you have the right kernels, then you're going to have some pretty good pictures if you can kind of somewhat hold it together. But there's a lot of the mid-range stuff out there too, which I caught to show you guys talking about testing, but there's a lot of mid-range stuff that even if a new person grew it well and it was just mid-range, they may just be defeated and not continue it. So
Right.
again, it is about getting good kernels in people's hands.
Okay. I totally agree. And I kind of want to make myself very clear on this because I do support more than $10 a bean. I do. Because there are circumstances where I do believe you're going to pay more than $10 a bean. I believe that. And so for that, like I believe, say, if my friend, I'm going to use you as an example actually, and because I think if I, as a fan of yours and an audience member of yours and a member of your community, I follow your adventure. Not to mention, I'm sure if I was a member of your community, it would be a lot easier to get my hands on these beans at a much further reduced rate than what the average person would, because we're community people and I understand how that works. The thing is, though, is that if I followed the journey and I seen what was available, I did it with you. I had an attachment to the bean in ways that maybe someone who's just looking for the next latest and greatest won't appreciate. Then maybe I would pay. I would pay for an exclusive drop, for something that's only limited. You tell me there is 1,000 beans, kernels in this drop. And it's 15, it's $20 a bean. I understand why people would be upset, right? First of all, because it's so expensive, but more importantly, I understand why people would be excited about this, because it's something exclusive. No one else is going to get their hands on this. It is one of a kind. I just don't think once it becomes mainstream that it should really hold up that same legacy.
Here's where I like smash my own argument to pieces though, because again, like while it may be too rich for my blood, I've got a lot of crazy friends, and they'll spend a couple $1,000s on a group of them together, or on like a cut. So I've seen over $100 per before. That sounds crazy, but my like at the end of the day, like I would never pay that, but at the end of the day, what that produces is well worth more than that if you were to not have grown it and had to go to the store. So even if it was 200 per, and especially if you clone it, it's still a great return on your investment. So that's where you can like smash the argument, but I think at the same time too, with the amount of these things that are produced on a regular sized plant from the large companies doing it, they're in the tens of thousands. So never feel bad for a person with a boat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Okay. Again, let me be clear. I totally agree with that statement. Okay, so we're on the same page that a cut is worth more than a bean. In most
It's
cases,
reliable.
right? I would assume. Let's assume that cut A is top of the line, whatever, and then kernel A is also top of the line. I would be paying a lot more for that already germinated, that already established, that already developed plant than I would for that bean, right? So I totally agree that the price of a cut. So what would be the most? Okay, so what would be the most you ever paid for a cut? So I personally, we're probably getting in the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I would say
Think it's
close to 1,000, maybe
yeah.
100 bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm up. Mrs. P is looking at me going like, "What?" But I've seen her makeup. Oh,
That's
the
not,
the thing, the,
I feel you, bro. I've been in the stores. I've been in the
it's
stores.
not cheap. It ain't
No.
cheap. No, the thing is
I
I'm with you. I'm probably with you. I've heard of cuts selling for thousands of dollars. So we're sitting, we're sitting here talking about hundreds of,
well,
and I kind of understand that. What do you? Go ahead.
there was the dude who shall remain the names, but $10,000 cuts for his pretty hot stuff, his exclusive cuts.
Yes.
And I pulled a winner from his genetics, and we had communicated, we knew each other, and he put it on his menu for $2,500. So there were cuts of mine selling for 2,500 at one point, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. But yeah, that's done.
Uh,
So they'll be when I'm done working with it, I'll be giving them away for free.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. You know what? First of all, I am never going to tell someone how they should feed their family, right? I think if you set the price of something and somebody wants to pay that price, then I don't care. I have a Grand Theft Auto set that I received an incredible like I got a hat, a key, a money bag, some DLC. I paid hundreds of dollars for that. Some people would think, "Wow, you're stupid." To me, it was worth every damn penny. So if I'm not gonna say anything. But again, as I said earlier, I understand if somebody scoffs at that and says that's too much.
I do.
Then you're right. It is too much for you. It's not, or may not, for someone else. So cuts are different breed. Cuts are totally different. And in fairness, I haven't actually hashed out what I think good pricing is for cuts. And to be perfectly honest, you and I both said, you said you said 1,000, and I was like, yeah, I'm up there with you at 1,000. Just right off the cuff, I'm like, yeah, I'd probably pay 1,000 for something. So to think that it wouldn't be off the table for me to pay, wouldn't happen, because there's no way in hope in hell I'm spending that kind of money. But I'm saying if there was just this something that came around, yeah, it's not totally unheard. It's like an old car, bro. Someone looks at a chassis of a '69 Mustang Shelby GT, and it says it's rusted to shit. And someone looks at that and goes, it's garbage. Someone else is looking at that and going, there's thousands of dollars right there, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, I totally agree. It's the beans that get me stirred, because we can't guarantee germination. We can't guarantee pheno expression. We don't know
Yep.
really anything, right? It's a mystery bag.
Well, and that's why sometimes things are more expensive is because people have taken the time to work things further. And when you work things further, you should be able to describe and get more predictable results. And that is worth paying for too. And that's not really a route that a lot of people, unfortunately, that are going into it are taking because it's too easy to almost turn and burn.
Right.
But the people who have been around for a long time and will remain to be around for a long time, that's what they're working on because that'll be kind of their signature thing. And further that, I think the next step of that is being able to work with like the stash blend, and soil companies. When you have a particular formula that you grow with, if you grow genetics that you've created in those and you have a like SOP, standard operating procedure for people to follow, if you can pick up the same stuff I'm using and keep the same environments that I tell you to, you should get the same result. And I think that is ultimately where I'd love to see breeders be able to aim for because that shows intent and that shows results. And that's ultimately what we want to give to people.
Totally agree. Yep, totally agree. Very well said. Very well said. And you know what? And someone in the free the seed. Someone is mentioning. Let it go. Let the genetics go. Some would scoff, and others would say, do it for free. Let it go. Nobody should be doing nothing. What kind of are you working on a breeding project right now?
Yes. Yeah. I'm working on a couple. Yep. So I have no joke. So my two main keepers are the Westport grape juice and the Kool-Aid Man. And that Kool-Aid Man was that $2,500 guy. But those are my keepers, and I've been doing a lot of work with the Westport grape juice. But I was like, I reversed it. Why don't I put it together with the Kool-Aid Man? And the result came out phenomenal. So I'm calling that no joke. I've been finished with that myself for a while. Testers have it right now. I'm going to put up some more testers for people to get and then give me feedback because the more environment, the better. And then maybe at the end of the year, I'll be able to release that once I feel confident in it. And again, like I'm able to give people a phenotypic expression. Like I'm seeing very distinctly in photos from the testers. I'm like, oh, that is definitely the Kool-Aid Man leader. Oh, that is definitely a Westport grape leader because I'm familiar with those plants. I can spot their traits. So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. And actually in the tent right there, I'm doing another reversal just to create more because I didn't realize it was going to be as rad as it was. So to my own horn there, but I'm like, I need to make more.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should, bro. That's awesome, man. What's like? I haven't personally started dabbling in breeding. However, I have some friends in very high places that are dabbling for me, and one of the craziest things I've learned, and this is like I said, I've never really done the breeding. I barely grown the plant, is what I would argue to many. And to see the amount of testing that goes into good genetics is remarkable. The heat testing, the drought testing, the light stress, it's just they're the heat stress and the temperature. I said those, but I just mean the testing of it. It's just the things that you've got to put the plants through to know that they're going to be stable enough for the masses is crazy. I didn't realize those steps that went in. So when you say that you're looking for testers and you say that it's very important that you get those environments tested, you're 100% right. Because even Chris, when I grew his Chill Out OG, he even said that I got expressions from his genetics that he didn't receive or get anywhere else. So even someone who's taken all the steps to the things that you're gonna see are so vast, are incredible. You never really know. So testing is very important, and having the right testers is even more important. I'm sure you agree.
It is. Yeah, because the most important thing about a tester is being able to provide feedback. It doesn't matter how good you are, how new you are, how experienced you are. Like, I honestly want the full range. I want somebody who's going to mess things up. I want somebody who's going to make normal mistakes that a new grower does because that's what they need to go through. But yeah, it does get pretty extensive, and that's why it's beneficial. Like, I can't do outdoor here, but I have a couple people I know that anything I send them, they'll do it outdoors for me. So that allows me to answer the question, how's it do outdoors?
Right.
As it's important. Um, but there's always just like that expression you mentioned too. There's always that one in 1,000. There's always that one in 10,000. As much testing as people do, sometimes there's expressions. Again, you get that unicorn, or maybe you get that one in a 10,000 one that has some intersex trait. That stinks. Contact the breeder, let them know. Hopefully, they'll want to ask you some questions and try to find out deeper. But
Yep.
if it's like a one in 10,000 situation, you just kind of roll with it. But the best quality of a tester is the ability to provide feedback and get started right away, because it doesn't help the breeder if you hold on to them for 6 months and then start them.
100%. 100%. So you heard it right there. So the best things to do are to document and to start right away. If somebody wanted to test for you in particular, what do you look for? Or what do you like? What are you looking for testers? How do they test for you?
Previously, I had just kind of a survey that I selected at random, but
Mhm.
it asked about, your grow experience. It asked about the media that you're using. Because again, I do kind of want to find the person who's doing it in hydroponic. I do want to find somebody who's doing, cocoa. I want to find
Mhm.
somebody who's doing living soil. I asked about, lights. Is it LED? Is it HPS? Just kind of different things about environment. Like, are you able to keep tight parameters on your, VPD, or do you just kind of take it as it is? Because both of those growers exist, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what I look for in testers is just tell me what you're doing. I'll let you know specifically what about the morphology of the plant or the tester that I'm looking for. Um, I need to get that link back up though for that survey because I want to. I'll put some up on the website in the store though. I'll
It's
put some testers up there.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a huge advantage having the website, bro. Having that hub for everyone to join. Yeah, man, it's going to be sweet, bro. It's going to be sweet. I'm glad you got it up because that's that next level of creation. Are you the only one that's working the site?
I am, and I went with so you're definitely a savvy person, and I'm sure a lot of the audience are too because a
I
lot of
got you
people are on the
fooled,
same
bro.
journey, whether who
Sorry.
with with this phone or with something else. But so like WordPress, it has great SEO, and that's how people find you. So I went with that, but it was a harder interface for me to understand. Wix, which I've used in the past, is basically drag and drop. There you go. Has bad SEO. So I tried to do something fancy, and I was like, dude, just keep it basic. And I kept it basic. And that's fine because I think ultimately a lot of the people that will be going to my website are going to be because they probably heard me talk about it or because it's in the show notes somewhere. I don't think people are really Googling Chad Westport. So that's all right.
Oh, I bet they are. I bet they are. I know they are. It looks great. It looks great. The website is
Thank you.
fantastic. Mrs. P is looking at it. I have already taken a look at it, and it's very well done. Be proud of yourself. I'm glad you think that I'm savvy because it takes a lot of work to make it look like I'm savvy. But thank you. As you know, as a creator, it's important that we have these places where people can go to communicate, to keep in touch, because we're one delete away from losing that communication from YouTube or any other platform for that matter. So it's
Yeah.
very, very important that emails, an email list, or a way of communicating, such as a website. Life of a creator, Chad. I'm kind of curious, man. You are doing so many things right now. What does how do you stay focused? You've got the website, you've got the channel, you've got multiple projects. How are you staying focused? And go ahead with a few of those projects.
Have a big whiteboard. Big whiteboard helps everything.
That's-
You have things written down, and I have the calendar hanging next to it. So those are big things because you think you'll remember everything. It's just like taking notes while you're growing. Like you think you're going to remember, oh, the humidity was off that week. No, you write things down. So
100%.
I start by writing things down. I've got the next 2 months of what I need to do written out in there. And, I kind of take it just like I try chunk by chunk. I like to get one project 100% done instead of everything 75% done, which is something I struggled with in the past. Then you just never get anything done. Um, so I do. I kind of just like have to sit down, get things done, and then move on to the next thing. God dang, I forgot what I was going to say there. It was like an important part of it. But
project,
yeah.
the whiteboard, writing everything down.
Yeah. Writing, dang it. Thank you for, yeah.
Ah, shit, no, there was about another 10 seconds after that I'm also spacing on as well. You then proceeded with another sentence.
I remember now.
Go ahead, go.
See?
Yep. We got it.
Long enough it helps. I love what I do. Again, like music is part of my background, and part of that also extended into audio engineering. I'm professionally trained, went to school for audio engineering. So I get joy in doing a lot of that stuff. Video editing, it's linear. It's a timeline. It's the exact same thing as audio. You're just moving chunks of pictures around too. So like getting to learn like new tricks, trying to discover new tools, find little things, like that's how I kind of get a lot of things done. It's because I'm really interested in it. Like I enjoy the growth. It keeps me curious, and that's how I get a lot of these projects done because it really is stupid the amount that I work, but I am so lucky to be putting the effort into what I put it into. So it's a good thing. But yeah, gotta love what you do. Gotta be curious, and that drives me through the day because so many things I want to do. There's not enough time.
There is not enough time. That is the truth, bro. That is the truth, man. And do you enjoy editing? Because like I know you do audio, but do you enjoy putting the video and the yeah?
It's sick, right? Like if you've done editing, like again, like I will watch the same like 2 second like fade to get like the millisecond cut to the right point. Like it's sometimes it's a little bit dangerous, but yeah, I do. I enjoy the editing. It's a sick thing. It takes a certain type of personality. Again, producing music, the engineer is the guy who listens to the same song 78 freaking times.
Yep.
You got to be a certain type of personality.
Yeah, bro. Man, listening to your own content over and over and over again, like you're putting a clip together and you listen to that same clip 70 times. And then I gotta take it up to the old lady and be like, so does this like sound good? Because I think it's ridiculous. She's like, no, it's great. I'm like, okay, then I'm just gonna post it then. Because now it sounds dumb. Because I've listened to it so many times. You play the guitar, right?
I do. So I played the guitar. I started out in like punk bands. So compared to my like classically trained folks, I don't really play guitar, but yes, I play guitar. I couldn't find 4 people. I was in bands. We played out a little bit, but nobody was as motivated as I was to like try to actually do something. So I was like, dude, I want to do rock and roll and skateboarding my whole life. That didn't work. So I was like, all right, y'all suck. I'm going to become a DJ. And this was like the 90s. This is when the rave scene was just like popping off. And I got involved with that in electronic DJ for over a decade and produced music as well. So yeah.
Good for you, man.
That was my music experience. Not necessarily the instrument player, but I can make everybody sound really, really good.
Okay, well, with that being said then, Chad, I'm going to be calling you when I need help because it took me and I'm not even joking, it took me 6 months to dial in my audio. Yeah, yeah. It was a long time. I lost viewers. It was horrible. It was horrible because I switched to an XLR microphone, and which, well, actually,
Professional.
that's right. That's right. But actually, in fairness, the only reason I did that was because I switched to a 2 PC streaming setup, and then I needed a mixer to send the audio both ways. And an XLR was the next option because then I can put the XLR into the mixer and then send the mixer both ways. Wow. Learning how to adjust audio, learning about pitch and gain, and
then teaching me.
and then, oh my gosh, Chad, it was incredible trying to figure it out and then trying to wire it into my system. It was, I don't want to do it again, but because I did it, I feel so comfortable now behind my own system with the audio and the way things are going that if somebody was like, I'd be like, I can fix it. So if something goes wrong, I'm calling you.
Yeah. I mean, again, the audio engineering taught me something that helps me with like the video production, with
Of
the video
course.
editing, and even plants too. And what that was is, it's signal flow because, the sound's coming in from over here and you're trying to get it to the speakers. Where in the signal flow is the breakdown? So you kind of start in the middle and then you work that way through it. So yeah, that's kind of a something that has helped all throughout life that I picked up in school there.
Oh my God, the fact that you just said that is like, that's the last thing I learned, bro. Because, I was doing everything wrong, man. So I wasn't getting quality sound, so I was changing it on the PC side. And then I wasn't getting so then I was changing it on the mixer side, and then I would get it too high, and then it was peaking before it got to the mixer, and then I was just like, I was so lost. And then I learned that from the middle out. That was like one of the, oh my God, the fact that you just said it like that was like even an aha moment for myself in regards to just how things get put together. So you're so right. Yeah, it's a learning curve, right? No matter what you take on in life, I always say you can either test the water with 1 foot or you can test the water with both feet. You jump in, either you're gonna break your ankles or you're gonna enjoy your time. And hopefully you don't break your ankles. No, you have to, you gotta jump in, man. We can't be sitting on the sidelines, not experiencing greatness. And there's gonna be times of struggle, but then now I can sit and talk about that struggle with you and laugh about it. And here I am today, a better man because of it. So struggle isn't horrible. I'm sure you've struggled tons.
Perseverance and patience.
Mm-hmm.
Again, two things that are going to help you in the grow room, that are going to help you in life. This plant teaches you all kinds of crazy things. I didn't start treating my stomach biome right until I learned a whole bunch about the soil biome, and I'm like, wait a minute, they got little microbes and stuff. I got little microbes and stuff. Maybe I should treat the two similar, and all kinds of lessons.
Good idea. I currently have high cholesterol, and I'm kind of like torn between taking cholesterol medication or trying, like, it's not that I'm not trying to fix my diet, but like being cholesterol aware, I guess would be a better way to put it. And I hear so many negatives about I hear so many positives about the medication, but then I hear the negatives about it too, and I'm just like, God, there's got to be a way that I can avoid it while still being healthy. And that's the battle that I'm going to take on next, is how to avoid cholesterol medication, because it looks like I can't. Looks like I'm going to take it, but I hear that like it's tied to dementia and all these other So I have homework to do, and that's what I'm afraid of, is trying to find what that balance is in life between health, diet, and then medicine, pharmaceuticals.
It is. And there's not everything that our bodies can do or provide. There's things that over time, like that, our bodies just kind of run out, of steam. So yeah, not those things are surprising. Funny that you mentioned that. My damn doctor told me that too recently. And so I'm grocery shopping different. I'm trying to be, more exercise conscious. But it was like, I like music in the grocery store and I have high cholesterol officially old. Like, damn.
Yeah, damn. Same thing. Same thing. I'm pretty sure the higher the number, the better. So no, I'm just joking. I'm doing pretty
I'm an
good.
overachiever.
Yeah, I'm an overachiever. Yeah, yeah. They say average parents drink 2 to 3 beers a day. I'm like 6, so I'm above average. I saw a meme like that. I like that. Okay, Chad. If anyone wanted to reach out, or if anyone wanted to get a hold of you, or talk one-on-one, or support you in any way, where could they do it? Where should we send them?
So, dude, thank you for giving me an opportunity for that. Instagram is kind of where you find out what's going on. Chad.Westport. That's the Instagram. Website, chadwestport.com. That's where you can find like the back catalog of my work, links to some of the videos and the store as well, some of that memorabilia. Chad Westport YouTube channel. That's where you find me and Mr. P talking about positivity in the Just One Thing series. So you go and check that out. Those are the places where people could find me. And congratulations for you. Many people have tried. I have never made a Discord account. You are the first. You broke me. That's off.
Hey, I can appreciate that, my brother. Yeah, you and I were kind of talking about that before the show, and briefly jumped into Discord, got each other situated, and then and so we were confident rolling in here. I got to be honest, Discord is free. The video quality is awesome, and because like when you create a Discord and then you bring folks in, people will boost it for you, and then when you boost it, you can unlock more things. And 4K quality is one of those things, and having more people in the chat room is one of those things. And I got to be honest, Discord is an incredible space for conversation. I was reluctant to go, but once I saw that, like, it's 100% community based, 100% community based, and it's a community for the community. It runs itself. You know, I run through there because people are showing crazy good pictures all the time, so I can't stay away. But it's it's a great space for communication, and to be able to have this kind of video conversation is wicked. And I don't like using StreamYard because I got to pay for it, and Zoom because I got to pay for it. And I can use this for free.
You hacked the system.
That's it. Hacked the system. Hired my wife. Got a few cameras. Turned a studio, and it's all it took. Mr. Westport, it was an absolute delight to sit with you this evening. I absolutely appreciate you for coming in last minute too. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. It was a hell of a conversation, man. And I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to see all your projects succeed. And hopefully we can send a few good flockers your direction. Thank you, Chad.
Pleasure, man. Thank you for having me. And thank you to all the flockers out there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Chad. Take care. Have a great night, man.
You too. I'll show you how old I am by trying to figure out how to hang up.
Don't worry about it. Mrs. P's got you, brother.